You are on a first date, and they tell you their favorite movie, causing you to get up and leave. What was the movie? Dragon Ball Z movie with Chow Yun-fat. After you are not ready for the Kamehameha, I had enough. Goku was ripping Kamehamehas when he was a little brat. WTF you mean he's not ready, Mr. the Killer? No offense to Chow Yun-fat, one of my all-time favorite actors. The Killer, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, A Better Tomorrow, Hardboiled. He's the man. Check his stuff out if you haven't already. Thanks. I think Citizen Kane, the most important movies in terms of innovation and the evolution of filmmaking. I would find it hard to believe it is actually someone's favorite film given our ages and all that has been made since. If someone said this, I would think that they were not telling the truth and just being pretentious, trying to sound like a film person. Lots of the answers in this thread are some of the movies that first came to my mind. But I think for every one of those films I would just ask, why is it your favorite? And even then, it would take a lot for the answer to that question to make me walk away. And that decision would have little to do with the movie. It would have to do with why they liked it, and why their answer bothered me. No movie, but basically any type of reality show. I'm referring to shows like The Jersey Shore, Housewives of blah blah, etc., not American Ninja Warrior or someone fighting an obesity issue. Reality shows that are based on drama, petty materialistic people or no actual reality whatsoever. If someone drops Shrek 2 as their all-time favorite movie, I might excuse myself for an imaginary bathroom break and disappear into the sunset. Love for animated ogres and their fairy tale adventures is a make or break compatibility test one never knew I needed. Any quasi-heady psychological thriller about dream states or time travel, or that smug nose in the air type of documentary where they try to educate you with their opinion. A la religulous or zeitgeist. Face Off, easily one of the worst movies ever made. That acting Nicolas Cage and worse acting John Travolta. It's like they had a bet to see who could be the worst actor, and would stop at nothing to prove it to the other guy. Wasn't First Date a little while into hooking up in college. I also was a lot more of a film and movie snob then instead of an appreciator of film now. Her favorite movie and actor was Black Knight starring Martin Lawrence. Real story, he was my crush for forever, and one day he told me his favorite movie was Dude, Where's My Car? And that he watched so many times and loves it so much. Crush immediately evaporated. Never spoke to him again. More than the movie is how she talk about the movie, like, if it's a Tarantino movie, that's fine. But if she's starting talking about how better it is than the Marvel movies, that's a no. Can't stand pretentious people. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World. I like Michael Cera and it has its funny moments. Don't get me wrong, but they usually like the movie for all the wrong reasons and don't cringe when Scott is doing shitty stuff. Went on a first date to see Top Gun 2. She loved it and I couldn't stand it. I was kinda neutral on the whole date in general. So that was the tipping point of not wanting a follow-up date. The Princess Bride is an absolute red flag movie. There's a reason why stand-up comics talking about depression talk about watching The Princess Bride over and over again. Sound of Freedom. Random guy stopped them and asked if I've seen it, how it's based on a true story. How my life. How if I don't watch it I'm a bad person. American Sniper. I liked watching it the first time. The second time it was so cringe. I have very conservative friends and even they thought it was lame. If they ever made a movie of Death March to a Parallel World, I'd immediately ghost them. Anyone who says they like the show is 5,000 layers of fuckwo. Barbie is the female counterpart of a guy saying his favorite movie is Fight Club or his favorite protagonist of all time is Tyler Durden. Seriously. Deadpool. No, the only reason I'll be seeing DP3 is because there's finally supposed to be a Gambit that talks right, and Logan Wolverine of course. Madagascar. That movie was utterly shit and had only one or two clever bits the entire movie, and then it was super popular despite how horrible it was. Something like Titanic. Any one of the Oscar winner movies. I'm not a dramatic movie person and find them terribly long and boring. Lord of the Ring theatrical. You go extended or go home. I need someone who can go the distance. I won't tolerate weakness. Birth of a Nation or Fall of Minneapolis. or 2000 Mules or Plandemic or Savings Christmas would all end it right away. Blair Witch Project. Because they thought it was scary. The only emotion that movie gave me was the urge to go camping. Guns akimbo. But I'll also know they read it. Edit lol. I still don't get why Redditors are the only fans of that movie. The list is pretty minuscule, as it would be much more dependent on their reasoning for it being their favorite movie. Chances was sick of running into people who love this movie. Kevin Costner's hair alone is a red flag. The Grinch. But the one starring Jim Carrey. I mean, I'll throw a few bills on the table, but then I'm out the door. 1995 The Babysitter. Personally, I don't date anyone I would walk away from anyone said it was their favorite. A Quick Goodbye if they say the Taylor Swift concert film. The only talent she has is marketing to simpletons. Any of the Scary Movie sequels, they get a pass if they say the first one, and maybe the second. But that's it. Golden Compass. Shit taste in all regards. So that with a free ticket, still felt I deserved a cash refund. Nobody mentioned Cats yet. Can't blame people for not wanting to remember that movie exists. Thought. Boondock Saints. I don't even hate the movie. I just can't stand the people who are crazy about it. They tell me that their favorite movie is causing me to get up and leave. Well, how nice of them. Any horror movie, sorry, but it's just not gonna work out. I'm not watching horror movies with you. Avengers Endgame. I can't date someone who cried more than me during that movie emotionalness. Apocalypto. I've ended 2 relationships over this movie, and I don't regret it even a little. The Last Jedi, and God help them if they try and say anything about subverting expectations. The one way you ask each other if you blow clouds or if you just sometimes have a dab pen. The Marvels. I just watched it with my family and it was the worst movie I had ever seen. I had an ex whose favorite movie was The Dirties. It's a school shooting mockumentary. If someone said their favorite movie of all time's Free Guy, I would immediately run. This is going to be unpopular. Any single Marvel movie, mind-numbingly dull stuff. Twilight, anything. I'm a fan of Anne Rice, and it hurt my soul seeing the first movie. Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen. As a kid that movie freaked me out. Still can't watch it. All I'll say is I've never met a girl worth keeping whose favorite movie is Twilight. LOL. Avengers Endgame. Not ready to sit through a 3-hour movie on a first date. Movie 43. It's the only time I ever wanted to get up and walk out of a theater. The Percy Jackson movies. Especially if they say they're better than the books. Hot College Kids 9. Terrible storyline. They really lost direction after 8. I'd like to know, are they, and why are all of them here with my date and me? A Serbian film. Edit Google at your own peril. It's one of those movies. Scarface. Not totally a horrible movie. At a red flag as a favorite movie. Birth of a Nation. Human Centipede. Not a double feature I could endure. Halloween. Or Scream. Or Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't do scary movies. Any movie where the music was written or produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not petty enough to end a date over something so trivial. Mic drop. Battlefield Earth. It means they're going to drag you to get audited. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm okay with the movie. Don't like the fans. Relevant Tom Hardy. One of those mega movies that had a tiny budget and still lost money. Dumb and Dumber. Ace Ventura. Patch Adams. Marley Me. Love Actually. Sound of Freedom. No sane, stable person could like that movie. The Transporter Refueled. Loved the first 3. The killed the 4th one. Yeah. I can't think of any that would cause that specific reaction. Toy Story 4. I need someone with more respect for the franchise. Sound of Freedom. It's just QAnon propaganda by a scam artist. Tusk. Human Centipede is obvious, but this one is still yuck. Human Centipede. Animal. Human Centipede. The Serbian film. I'm getting TF up. The Love Guru, or Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. $1 Million Baby. Worst movie ever. Spoiler, she dies. Splice with Adrienne Brody. God, that movie was terrible. Any of the Saw movies, I don't do that kind of stuff.